Hi everyone, you're right. This is going to be a reading for all signs, so I'm going to do about 5 to 10 minutes for each sign. There'll be timestamps in the description. It's just a general reading. I don't know what I'm pulling on. We'll see when we get it. It could be anything. Take what fits, leave the rest. Use your intuition. All that jazz, alright? If you like the readings, like, share, subscribe. I'm gonna start with Sag. Let's go to the fire signs. Sagittarius. What's that? The Five of Wands. It didn't fall though. Maybe some Five of Wands energy. Let's see if that comes out again. What does Sagittarius need to know, please? Six Pentacles reversed. Hanged Man reversed. The Sun. And the Lovers. Sagittarius. They're big cards, aren't they? Justice on the bottom. Well, I was going to say something doesn't feel fair. Something feels unbalanced. I mean, look, both these cards feature scales. If I hold them properly so that you can see. I was going to say I can't see them. There they are. They're both in reverse, a lack of balance. Pertaining to what? Communication, imbalance in communication, possibly an imbalance in vision, possibly an imbalance in ideas for outcome. But that's not an imbalance, is it? That's just a difference in opinion. It's more of the imbalance kicks in when it comes to the work you do to get that vision. I think you will have a similar vision with the Sun and the Lovers and the Star. You share a vision with someone, but in order for you to be working towards that vision, there's some sort of imbalance. Predominantly around communication. It feels like one person's having to do more of the work than another person when it comes to communication here. And I actually feel like things are therefore on hold with the Hanged Man. But it feels like you're about to come out of that energy of things being on hold very soon, because we've just got this Sun and the Lovers right next to it. It just feels like things are going to be getting back on track soon. You know, this star came down right down here. It's almost this imbalance almost has caused you to lose sight of the vision, and I feel like getting back into this Sun Lovers energy is part of what you're being advised to do or asked to think about. I hate giving advice. Is to remember what that vision is. To remember what that vision is between you. Because it's the why. You know, if there's this lack of communication or this imbalance in communication, part of, I think, only part of what can help fix that is remembering what you're both aiming for. And I will say both. It does feel like two people because we've got two sides of the scales. We've got the Lovers card out. So yes, this does feel like a situation between you and at least another energy anyway, whether that's a job or a person or whatever. One person's being much more direct than the other person's communication style. You could see the annoyance, right? I mean, yeah, I'm displaying my own annoyance at this because you know, I don't know. I did call my channel this, right? This is representative of the Queen of Swords. I mean, I'm not saying I always even manage to actually do this myself anyway, enough about me. But there's a certain appreciation here for a direct communication style. But it's more on, I think, Sagittarius, your side, and the other person is either doesn't have that appreciation or maybe doesn't have the tools, or so it's something to work on. But, you know, this is what's there tying you together. This is what's tying you together in a way, and yet it sort of manifests as a shared vision, but it's right in your soul energy, Sag. Okay, I'm going to leave it there for you. Hope that made sense. yeah, let's move on to Aries. Oh, I forgot how fun it was doing these little reads. I do find it difficult not to dig and dig and dig, but I did so much digging on the previous set of reads I just did. I feel okay about it. Aries, that wasn't meant for you. Aries, Aries, Aries. What does Aries need to know? What does Aries need to know? Messages for Aries, please. What's going on with Aries, please? Ooh, the star. Sagittarius has just had the star. A reversed High Priestess. An upright Knight of Cups. And the beautiful, beautiful star. Oh, I'm getting weird decision making vibes here. That's unusual for these cards, but what comes through, what comes through. I'm not going to argue with it. It's just the black and white of these pillars. I've never seen it in that way before. You feel like you've got to make a decision. It almost feels like a black and white decision. And with the star card, I just feel like something needs to be done. Something needs to be done. There's something about vulnerability here. Look, the Knight of Cups in its upright position is very vulnerable, not afraid to be vulnerable, will share thoughts and feelings. There's a certain emotional flow with the Knight of Cups like that, with that willingness to be vulnerable. And then we've got the star, the woman in the star. She's naked. You don't get more vulnerable than that. But I mean, I am talking really about emotional vulnerability, by the way, not like sexual vulnerability as such. But that obviously could be part and parcel of it. But a decision, though, there's a decision that needs to be made. I don't feel like you're entirely in touch with your intuition when making this decision. Feels like an instinctive drive to pull back a bit from this vulnerability, actually. Let's see if I'm going on the right tracks with that, or quite what I'm saying. It feels like it's driven by your intuition, but it's not driven by your intuition. It's driven by past trauma. It's the way it's coming through. But the awareness of this is something for you to learn from. It's showing you something about something that's happened in your past that you need to look at with the Hierophant. Hierophant's a teacher. I'm seeing this desire to make a decision. I'm seeing this desire as needing to make a decision as being a teacher. It's teaching you something about yourself. I'm not saying either way. And it would be irresponsible, and I can't say either way if this, and I think earlier I did make it sound like I was saying either way, and if I'm backtracking, then so be it. I'm backtracking because I need to backtrack. There's this thing when you're making decisions and you don't know if you're being driven by past trauma, and you don't know if you're being driven by a genuine instinct, and sometimes it's hard to tell the difference between the two, and this is what you're being asked to look at. With this feeling that's in you, this feeling that you need to do something about this situation. It's almost like you want to put your clothes on. It's a gut feeling that you want to put your clothes on. Maybe not hide, because hide feels secretive and manipulative. It just more of a bit of a holding back. Seven of Swords reverse style. And it's almost like you instinctively want to do that. You instinctively just want to, well, not even clothes, because clothes would take too long. Pull up a cloak or something and put it around you. There's this instinctive desire to do that. And, you know, that can be quite a good self-care thing, can't it? To just look after yourself in that way. And it could be. But also, there's a sense of hiding yourself a bit. But you know, it could be the right thing, it could be the wrong thing. I think it can be done in a way that you can still be in the Knight of Cups flow of energy. It doesn't Yes, because you're normally so used to that black and white thinking. That's the thing with that. You're normally so used to this black and white thinking. So you're either... Okay, so there's this scale of vulnerability, all right? And this is the two ends of the scales. You're over here at the moment, naked, pouring water about. Your instinct's telling you to go over here, which is right at the other end of the scale. Is it your instinct? Is it past trauma? That's what you're being asked to think about. But also what's being pointed out to you, that along this scale of vulnerability, it doesn't have to be all the way over here or all the way over here. There's an in-between, right? There's a testing the waters type approach. And within, not over here, not over here, in here somewhere, actually, you could find a more Knight of Cups flow. I mean, the Knight of Cups, though, does take things to extreme. All the Knights take things to extreme, so you might find your Knight over here. You might find your Knight over here. But actually there is a place over here in the middle where your Knight can be, where things flow. The Wheel of Fortune is all about flow. And look, it's about recognising that it's not black and white. There's lots of colours in between. It's nuanced. You see what I'm saying, Aries? And that will help you make your decision, if a decision needs to even be made. Hope that makes sense. I'm going to leave it there for you, Aries. Right, let's go on to Leo, Leo, Leo. What's happening with Leo? That Aries reading was, yeah. I'm just going to clear the energy, actually. Like, it wasn't, you know, it was nice energy, but I need to be in the Leo energy now. Yes. You're right, Leos. I will put timestamps on this video, and I'm thinking, really, I should probably timestamp it after this, shouldn't I? You don't need to sit... Do you need to watch me ding bells? I don't know. Patience. Patience. Maybe Temperance is going to come out now. Oh, God, I'm sorry. I just cracked myself up, I do. All right, Leo. I do think I'm hilarious. Oh, no way. Go and watch the Aries reading. Go and watch the Aries reading right now. You're joking me. That's hilarious. Oh, do you know what? If this continues like this, I'm not really going to pull you a reading. I am just going to tell you to go and watch the Aries reading. Like, seriously? I'm getting the exact same... King of Wands. I'm getting the exact same... It's about black and white thinking. And I've got to say, I don't even think the High Priestess has ever come through to me the way it came through to me in that Aries reading, but it's coming through to me in the same way. And I did actually take the time to clear the energy. It's not that. It's not that. It's you too. You too. But come on, different context for you, different angle. Let's see what's going on then with the King of Wands. But there is something about black and white thinking here. Three of Swords. The Sun reversed. Ouch. There's your Three of Swords, Leo. There's your Three of... And the Sun. Oh my God, that's crazy. Go and watch your 40-minute video-ish that I did. I did a chunk of longer reads for each of the sign, more in depth than I usually go for on a sort of monthly, bi-monthly basis. I don't know how often I'm going to be doing the readings. I don't know, but that's so weird. Because I kept saying, there's a Three of Swords in your energy, I can't get to it. You won't, if I tell you this, you won't even believe me, but whatever. The next day, I come sit down to do the Virgo reading after feeling a Three of Swords in your energy and not being able to find it. Fine. The next day, I sit down to do the Virgo reading. What's under the desk on the floor? The Three of Swords from this deck. The Three of Swords, that... It was just on the floor. It was like Leo wants to remove the Three of Swords from the deck of life. I don't know. I don't know. It was a bit of a sensitive reading, actually, that one. So maybe just go into it a bit carefully. Switch off at any time. But the other thing I said in your energy was like, there's a sun in your energy. There's a sun in your energy. Anyway, right. Okay, what's going on here? Do you know, I think maybe it's quite nice to see the Three of Swords come out in the surface energy of your reading like this, Leo. In a way. So maybe that's what this black and white thinking, because with Aries, the black and white, it was like, oh God, and you had a pendulum in your reading as well. It's like a swing of a pendulum, black, white, the swing of a pendulum. Extreme happiness, extreme pain, extreme happiness, extreme pain. Oh, it's like swinging. It's like this swing between extreme happiness and pain. Although the pendulum was different in the first video. God, I don't know how much this is making sense. If you've just jumped into this reading after not seeing the longer reading, I don't know how much of this is making sense. It comes through the way it comes through. I just have to translate it the best way I can. How are you getting to this extreme happiness? It's in reverse. So when the sun comes out in reverse, for me, it's often, and it can be an instant gratification thing. So it's like some sort of instant gratification going on here for you, Leo. But I want to leave you with something useful. So what question can I ask? These are only meant to be little reads. So what's this King of Wands here for then? Because the King of Wands takes action. King of Wands is looking at this black and white thing. It's like the King of Wands knows something needs to be done about this extreme swinging of the pendulum. Me and my metaphors, I hope this makes sense. Mother of Pentacles and the Nine of Cups on the bottom of the deck. Tell me more about this King of Wands for Leo then. I mean, this fiery energy, it makes sense. And I'm not criticising you, by the way, for this pendulum swing or anything like that. It's just that the King of Wands does seem to be looking at it saying, like, can I do something about this? Strength, there you are. I mean, the Sun is a Leo card as well, showing up in your reading. How about that? Clarifying the King of Wands is the King of Wands. Right with you, right with you. There's some, yeah, and then there's Justice, which is all about balance. There's something in the King of Wands that it feels like Spirit wants you to embrace some aspect of the King of Wands. But, you know, if I'm digging and I'm getting the same card, I think it means the message is just not quite gettable at, well, or that I've already given the message, but as I don't feel I've done that for you, that message is just not... Hang on a minute. What do I... Look, this is back to that black and white thinking. And then I so often say that when the Justice card, this particular Justice card comes out, because it's the sword of truth is pointing right at this black and white thinking. There's some sort of in-between, and I don't even know if it's about happy and sad anymore. There's some sort of in-between. Go and watch the bloody Aries reading. There's some sort of in-between that Spirit's asking you to embrace, and the King of Wands is your route to getting there. And I'm sorry, but I don't know how the King of Wands is your route to getting there, because this is supposed to be a quick read. So I'm going to move on now, my loves, to Virgo, and I will catch you next time. And if you do want a bit more, it might be worth checking out the longer reading that I did a few days ago. All right, Leo, my loves, I hope that made sense for you. Thanks for being here. I'll see you next time. Ooh, the High Priestess doesn't want to go back in. All right, Virgo, where are we at? Virgo. I just need to take a moment, Virgo, and get out of the Leo energy and into yours. Virgo. Oh, Virgo. Nine of Pentacles. Ooh. Upright. I'm happy to see that energy for you as a fellow Virgo. And so I know you had the nine, and obviously I remember the Virgo readings a bit better than some of the others because I'm a Virgo. You had the Nine of Pentacles reversed in your reading. And actually, in that instance, it was all about a vision. But here, it's the independent aspect of Virgo, of your energy that's coming through here, which is very interesting. Issues around independence. There's issues around you and your independence and your ability to act independently, Virgo. Related to what? Related to what? Tell me, please. Not with that many cards. Four of Pentacles. Four of Pentacles. Holding on. Defensiveness. Yeah, okay, that makes perfect sense. Issues around your own independence are coming up, and there's a certain defensiveness around that within you, I think. Within you. Why is the Seven of Swords here? A loss, someone walking away. You had the reverse Six of Swords in your longer reading I did for you. It's coming through the same, actually. Possibly with a little bit more progress been made on that, because obviously after the Six comes the Seven, and we do have the Seven in your reading. Moving on from a loss, but struggling with it. What I said in your other reading was 1 foot in the past. It's coming through slightly different now. Quite impulsive desires. You're having quite impulsive desires. Centering around this loss, centering around what to do, taking action, centering around taking action around this loss. But why is it underneath the Seven of Swords? Why is it underneath the Seven of Swords? Swords upright, holding back. But you are holding back. You are holding back. This energy of holding back. Can't go there. And linking back to this sense of independence. What's underneath this Nine of Pentacles? You're defensive. You're defensive. You're defensive about threats to your independence. That doesn't feel quite right. You're defensive about looking at your own imperfections. I have a really weird relationship with this card. It's like perfect imperfections when this comes out in reverse for me. That's just my particular relationship with this deck. It's hard for you to examine any aspects of yourself that aren't perfect, even though logically with your swords you know the whole concept of perfection is ludicrous, limiting, harmful. And there's something there that stings for you if for whatever reason issues around your own independence are coming up. Because you weren't, there was no space for you to be imperfect in the past, so you had to bury anything like that gosh, might have, it almost feels like you're faulty as a person. Looking at those is like saying I'm faulty as a person, and that's a hard thing, but I think there's a way for you to look at them without having that sting of I'm faulty as a person, and probably if you examine where that comes from. Which we're not going to do here because I've been here too long already. But you know, hang around for future longer reads, and that might be something that might come up again in a longer read for you. I don't know. I don't think it came up in your last read, even though the Nine of Pentacles did come up. It didn't really come up in that context. But yeah, yeah. Hope that makes sense for you and is maybe giving you a few pointers anyway, Virgo. What you might like to look at. You just use it as prompts, can't you? And if it doesn't resonate with you, it doesn't resonate with you, and that's not something you need to look at right now, but maybe in the future it will be. All right, Virgo, my loves, I'm going to move on to Taurus now. Okay, Taurus, my sweets, how are you doing? I hope you're all right. Four of Swords in reverse. Are you exhausted? Just feels like you're exhausted, frankly. I'm sorry. And then we've got Seven of Swords, Four of Pentacles. Keeping things to yourself. The stuff that it's like you want to share, but you can't share. And the fact that you can't share it, it seems, that's what's exhausting you, I think. And sort of preventing you from healing, I think, because Four of Swords is a very healing energy, but it's like this is what's in the way of your healing. It's like, where do I take this? Where do I take this? There's something here. What is it? What is it? What is it? What is it? Can we find out? King of Swords. That's a desire to communicate it, but what? But what? Feels like a sort of inner conflict. It's like there's some sort of inner conflict here, and it's like you want to communicate it. Possibly in an ideal world, you would want to communicate it with some of the energies that surround you that are causing that conflict. Because I think actually there are other places you can take it, but it's sort of like in order to be resolved, I need to take it to the I won't say the energy that's making you feel like this, but the energy that sort of triggered that and brought that feeling up within you. It's like there's a desire to communicate, but you can't. There's other places you can take it. Look, the King's that way. The person you want to talk to is that way. The King's that way. You can look outward to find other places, and I think you can find a lot of comfort in those other places. And I think to a certain degree that can turn your Four of Swords the right way up and give you that more restful feeling inside yourself, at least for a bit, Taurus. So I hope that helps. I think, yeah, that's kind of what Spirit is saying. Like the energy that's causing you this burning desire to sort of speak and confront the energy. If you judge that as not safe, then sure, there are other places you can take that. I hope that makes sense for you, Taurus. I'm going to move on to Capricorn now. Okay, Capricorn. Capricorn. Capricorn, 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 Capricorn. Five of Swords reversed. The High Priestess. High Priestess. High Priestess. Five of Swords reversed. Center of your reading, the way the cards, I don't know, or the way I just mindlessly, thoughtlessly place the cards, which is the best way, is your intuition. You're really trying to work with your intuition here, Capricorn, to bring about some sort of abundance. I'm just drawn to the pomegranates on the High Priestess, which is abundance. Abundance. Some sort of bridge between, I don't know, the 3D and the 5D. But it's related to abundance, bringing about growth. I feel like you have some role in bringing about the growth of other people. I mean, High Priestess is one of the most psychic cards in the deck. Queen of Cups, possibly more psychic than the High Priestess. I don't know. I think you probably would be into tarot, like pulling cards for yourself and stuff. Maybe pulling cards for others and stuff. Right. Right, so that's at the centre of your reading. What of it? What of it? You are being asked to think about your own boundaries around that work. I mean, you know, it wouldn't have to be that. It could be a sort of teaching role as well. I'm almost getting Hierophant vibes from this. It's something to do with passing on knowledge, passing on spiritual knowledge. Something to do with passing on spiritual knowledge. But you can tend to be over generous with that, which is where your own boundaries come in, and you have to place limits on it. You have to place limits on it. So that's what the Death card's talking about here, because otherwise you're sabotaging yourself subconsciously, very subconsciously, and because consciously you're like, you know, I just want to help people. And I'm not saying any of this is a lie or anything. It isn't. I'm not saying you've got some horrible ulterior motive or anything. No, no, no. It's not that. It's just that these are your conscious justifications, and they are justifications that are in line with your values. But on, like saying, oh, it's good to be generous with this. It's wrong to take money for this, sort of thing. And that feels like a subconscious self-sabotage to not, because energy exchange is a thing, and I know the world we live in isn't ideal, but the world we live in does have its systems, and I don't think you can just ignore those systems when it comes to an exchange of energy that does need to flow. So if that means taking money for your services, yeah, I just feel like I'm looking at a Capricorn who's doing things for free or something like that. But take those energies and apply it as you see fit, Capricorn. I hope that makes sense. I'm going to move on to Aquarius now. All right, my loves. Cool. Aquarius. Don't make me start singing Katy Perry at you, Aquarius. I'm just thinking of the title of your last read. You're hot, then you're cold. There was very in and out energy in your last reading. And it was on the basis of 8 of Wands that I felt it coming in and out as well. Yeah. 10 of Wands. Yeah, you're bloody tired of it. Yeah, you're bloody tired of it. Yeah, you want something more solid from this person. If someone approaches you in Page of Pentacles energy, even if it's a small offer, which it is when it's a page, not fully formed, not quite sure if it has the potential to turn into something more substantial, but there is a certain solidity about it, a certain groundedness, a certain authenticity. I don't know. It's going to hang around longer than the feeling I get from this and what I was getting in your last read. It's just more solid. I think it would be impossible for someone to present as a Page of Pentacles and come in and out. I just, like over here, I just don't feel that's congruent at all with the energy of a Page of Pentacles, but this is coming across to me as what you are really desiring. And it's almost, you see, the Page of Pentacles came out with the 10 of Wands. It's almost like, though, that this desire is wearing you down. Something's wearing you down here, and I think that's a horrible thing to say. It feels like hope is wearing you down. I suppose when you invest hope in the wrong places, that makes no sense. I've just said something to you that I can't make sense of in my brain. False hope, then, is it? I don't know if you can compute that. Maybe you can, Aquarius. False hope is wearing you down. I suppose it must be because deep down you have the inner knowledge that it is a false hope. And you know, often when the 10 of Wands is coming up, we have to let go of something to lighten the load, and maybe that's what you're being asked to let go of. Is someone on the right lines here? Son of Wands reversed. Impulsive energy. Page of Wands. Page of Wands. Also, you know, this is impulsive. This is not the Page of Pentacles that we've got coming through here to try and clarify. It's more Wands. Have you got enough Wands? This is back to that impulsive in and out energy. Exactly what I said. Exactly what I said. It's almost like you know this is the reality. You know this is the reality of the situation. And the hope for this, something more steady, more solid, even though it's small, it's where it's something about that. Maybe it's the, in your thoughts, you keep swapping between like the fantasy and the reality, and maybe that's in a sense what's wearing you down, to expand it a bit and to make a bit more sense of it. And look, we've got another 8 of Wands on the bottom. You couldn't make it up. I think that's what you had in your longer reading. You had 2 8 of Wands, and I was just like, yeah, this person is definitely, I mean, not that I'd always get that with the 8 of Wands, but that's the way it came through then. It's the way it's coming through now. And I guess now you just have, if you've already watched the other reading, you have an additional message of sort of why does it feel like such a burden on you? It's probably kind of exhausting for your system, for your body, to be in a fantasy of a steady offer versus thinking, you know, versus seeing the reality of the hot and coldness of this. Yeah, so if you haven't seen your other reading, definitely go and check. If this resonates, definitely go and check that out, because these readings are definitely tied. Moving on to Libra. Will we see your reverse Knight of Cups again, Libra, or will something different come through now? Let's see, my loves. Libra, it's too many cards. Libra. A 7 of Wands, a 2 of Pentacles, an Ace of Wands. So this is the energy of a new start, a new project, a real creative spark. I don't see it quite in your energy at the moment. I feel like you're pondering a decision, and the decision that you make is going to help you find your spark again. Every time I see the 8 of Wands, I keep saying about that, and I wonder if I said it in your longer 40-minute reading. I don't know. I feel like making the decision to stand up for yourself and put some boundaries in place is what's going to help you find your spark again. Succinctly put. But at the moment, I feel like this is what the energy that you're in. I don't know if you're quite working out, do I stand up for this? Don't I stand up for this? You know, because it's a bit of pick your battles. It's a bit of a pick your battles thing here. It's like, should I just let this go? I think if you're weighing up this much whether you should let something go in this context of standing up for your needs and your rights, if you're weighing it up this much, I think that tells you something, Libra. So I think the question really is how. How do I do that? Let's put some cards. So if you've got any advice for how do you stand up for what you believe in? How do you say? I mean, it could be anything. It could be a general cause, a general project, but it could be within a relationship, saying, look, this is what I need in a relationship. This is what my expectations are. When you did this, I felt this way. Oh, I'm just telling you how to do it without even pulling the cards, aren't I? Let's see what the card's saying. I'll stop banging on. How? With care for yourself, with the knowledge that if you don't do it, it is a form of sabotaging yourself and the relationship or the project or whatever it is. And yes, when you stand up for this, it might not be met well. But then the sabotage would then be on their end. You've done your best. You know, if you're making decisions from a place of integrity and in line with your values. Which I think from this much, I mean, an R-ing, I think we've sort of already ascertained that the Libra I'm looking at knows it's in line with their values, knows it's in line with, yeah. And you know what? If the okay, no, I'm going to leave it there for you because I have my limits as well. This is just a quick reading. I'm going to leave it there for you, 7 of Wands style. See, that's how you do it, Libra. Geminis. What's coming up for Gemini, please? Thank you. 7 of Cups, 7 of Pentacles reversed, 9 of Cups reversed. Okay, I can take this 7 of Cups energy. I get very lost in 7 of Cups energy, but more when it's reversed. But options, considering options. And as well, the 7 of Pentacles, it came out in reversed, is also a bit of a, how do we move this forward? How do we grow this, whatever it is? How do we grow it? And the thing is, when you're talking about how do you grow things, sometimes if you're of that mindset, the question of like, what do we want this to look like in future is something that comes up. And I kind of feel like this is why the 9 of Cups has come out. It came out in reverse. There's something out of alignment here with different people's visions for the future. And someone, I don't know if it's you or another person, has a bit of a fairy tale vision for the future. It feels a bit unrealistic. Yeah. Tell me more about this 9 of Cups, please. Yeah. Whereas this, the 9 of Pentacles, feels very realistic, and I think this is your vision for the future, Gemini. But I think their vision for the future is a reverse 9 of Cups, which feels... it actually feels quite ill-defined and nebulous and dreamy. Like a fairy tale, but like an ill-defined fairy tale. Like very feelings focused. Very feelings focused. Well, we're just going to be in love forever. And this person's going to meet all my cups. All the cups I give to this person, they're going to accept. And they're going to give all their cups to me. You know, and they're going to meet all my needs. And this is a more grounded, independent energy that feels a bit more realistic, a bit healthier in terms of, you know, okay, let's take it as a romantic relationship, in terms of what, say, a romantic relationship would look like. So there's a bit of an incongruence there. So I don't know if we could look at, is it possible to sort of bring these two into unity or balance in some way, or what might help that at least? I can't make hard... yeah, I can't make hard... Jesus. These cards could not be better. I cannot tell you. Oh my God. Because 6 of Pentacles just is that balance, is that growth, is that abundance. I mean, yeah, we've gone from a 7 to a 6, but like... the growth and abundance in that card is just amazing and beautiful. And how do we achieve that balance? You know, clarity, clear, direct communication. You know, maybe there can be some meeting in the middle here, like, because it's only through that speaking of it sometimes, that sharing of it, that things can be more concrete. Because I told you this was quite nebulous and cloudy, and but sometimes if this person applies an Ace of Wands to this, in the sharing of that, things would become more concrete, and you might see areas where you might be able to meet, if that makes sense. And likewise, this person speaking of their vision might reveal some areas where there's a little bit of inflexibility, something like that. I'm going to leave it there for you, because at least we ended on a nice message and I don't have to struggle to not leave you with something unresolved, which I don't really like people doing, but then I'm not here to resolve everyone's problems. I'm just here to give you a springboard. Right, that being said, Pisces is up next. Come on, Pisces, what have we got for you, my loves? Okay, let's just get into that watery energy. Hello, Pisces. Queen of Swords, yes. Good for you. Speaking your truth. Having the strength to speak your truth. There's an underlying anger here. I'm not saying that's a bad thing, by the way. We don't do bad and good emotions here. Bollocks to that. All emotions are emotions. You're stopping yourself from roaring. You're stopping yourself from expressing your anger in a harsh way that would not help the situation, whilst hanging on to your truth and speaking your truth. It's beautiful, Pisces. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. And you do that through recognition of your own anger and not shaming yourself for your own anger. I like it. I like it. And there is a feeling of taking action here with the Queen of Swords and the Three of Wands. Three of Wands is starting to take action, at least. Starting to take action towards this. Almost with the knowledge that you're going to be in it for the long haul. It's going to be something that, well, even the first move does feel quite difficult. It's like, yeah, the first move feels quite difficult. Then you get over that. And then, in a sense, it feels like plain sailing for a bit. Just wanted to say plain sailing. I'm just getting plain sailing with that. Plain sailing, because you're really sat in your truth. You know, not afraid of your emotions, not afraid of your anger. But it's like with the knowledge that it might not always be plain sailing, which is just a brilliant attitude to go into things with. I like it for you, Pisces. And knowing that, like, when stuff does come up, it feels like there's some level of commitment here to whatever this is that you're doing. It might just be work on yourself. It might be resolving relationship conflicts. I don't know. But there's some sort of knowledge here with the Nine of Wands that if stuff gets difficult, I'm going to stay the course. Like, there's a commitment to staying the course. I don't know. It doesn't feel unhealthy, though, because it comes with the caveats of self-care, compassion towards yourself. I can't tell you how beautiful this reading is, Pisces. I just can't. I like you. I want to hang out with you, actually, to be honest, Pisces. Just drop me a line in the comments. Why not? I will leave it there for you, but that's just beautiful and well done. Okay, Scorpio. Where are we at, Scorpio? A message for Scorpio, please. Three of Wands reversed, Seven of Swords reversed. No, sorry, Two of Wands. Holding back on a decision. Holding back on even thinking about a decision. You just don't want to make a decision, do you, Scorpio? Oh my God, you had major in your 40-minute reading. I've done a block of 40-minute readings. Yours was a few days ago. If this is resonating with you, I'd say go and find it, because you had major decision-making vibes going on. Right in the centre of your reading, you had like the Chariot. Then up here you had the Two of Wands, and I can't remember what other decision-making card you had, but it was just like, I kept trying to clarify, and it just kept saying decision. And it's like, I don't know. It was like, in that reading, deep down, it was like, you knew what you weren't being offered wasn't that great, and saying yes to this, saying yes to this offer. I don't know, but you could not get the idea of needing to make a decision about something out of your head. But maybe you have now, because anyway, this feels like just not wanting to make a decision. You do know by not making a decision, that is making a decision in and of itself, Scorpio. That's what you needed to hear. Yeah. and you are holding back on making a decision, it almost feels like you are not admitting to yourself how much is tied up with this decision. Let's find out more about the nature of this decision then. Is it your cups? Is it your cups that are tied up to this decision? Wands, more wands, conflict, cups. It is cups. I thought it was. A lot of conflicts about your emotions here. A lot of emotional conflict. And the Seven of Swords is telling me you just are trying to sort of pretend that that conflict isn't even there, that the emotions aren't there. We had to dig for this. King of Cups is great energy though. So if you could embrace that energy, you know, it's about sitting with your emotions, balancing it out with other aspects like the swords, thinking, you know, pentacles, practical shit, wands, action, creativity. It's about balancing all those elements out. The King of Cups is great at doing that. And that's a great way of dealing with Five of Wands conflict. It feels like inner conflict energy. So I do feel there is energy available to you of acknowledging these feelings, sitting with them, and making a decision from that space. It's about getting into the right space to make the decision, Scorpio. That's what Spirit's trying to tell you. So yeah, in a sense, you are right to put off this decision because you're recognizing you're not in the right space. Spirit's nudging you to get in that right space, but whilst also saying to you, not making a decision is making a decision of itself. And sort of while you're burying the importance of this decision, you can't really work on getting into that space. So yeah, that's what needed to come through for you. I think that's reasonably straightforward. I hope that makes sense to you. And now I'm going to move on to Cancer. Lovely. Oh, I've enjoyed doing these little mini readings again. Okay, Cancer, what have we got for you, my loves? My video is even still recording. It's mind's blowing. I'll probably stop now. Cancer, Cancer, Cancer. Quick little read for you, Cancer. You had all Six of Pentacles, balancy, am I being unreasonable stuff in your bigger reading that I did a few days ago. That was the question that came through as needing answering, that Spirit wanted you to consider, am I being unreasonable? I don't know if we'll see that energy here today or if we'll get something completely different. The Tower in reverse. Oh, okay. Okay, you really had to, yeah, to get to the bottom of this question, you really have had to look at yourself in a way that doesn't feel all that comfortable. But it's not as sudden, as intense, as if like sometimes with the Tower, when it's upright, it's the universe sort of giving us a bit of a shake, saying, look, you really need to look at this. It'll step in some way to get you to do that. It's reverse. It feels like, in a sense, you've brought it about yourself. Yeah, oops. But it's really like stripped you down, I guess. Who is core Cancer? Who am I? Who am I at my core? Yeah. You know, and finding a sort of inner stability when it feels chaotic around you. Not exactly an easy task, is it? Yeah, an inner stability where you don't sabotage yourself. And Nine of Cups has come out for you. Ooh, Knight of Swords. Maybe a rash decision around communication here. That could be linked to the self-sabotage. And it could have brought about this Tower. But now you're in Nine of Cups. That's nice. Right. I'm not going to dig under it and find something, am I? Am I going to find something? What am I going to find under it, Cancer? The Four of Pentacles. And a Fool. King of Wands reversed on the bottom of the deck. I'm not quite feeling this Nine of Cups for you, Cancer. I don't quite understand what's going on, in all honesty. It's a bit of a strange one. Something holding you back. Something holding you back from a Nine of Cups. Some sort of self-sabotage. Something you're doing to you're holding yourself back from your Nine of Cups. Nine of Cups. Do you know what? Nine of Cups here is just coming through to me as doing pleasurable things for yourself. I guess sometimes I do keep getting drawn to the cups, and I'm thinking of like drinking wine and stuff. I don't know. And that can be an aspect of the Nine of Cups card, can't it? Kind of overindulging or something like that. It does feel possibly linked to this Five of Swords, like I say. But you're getting in... What was I saying? You're getting in the way of like a true Nine of Cups. Like a true Nine of Cups. Like really just doing the things that bring you pleasure and joy in your life. Like, that's allowed. Right? There's something about you getting in your own way. Getting in your own way. It's like you're holding there's full energy available to you, which is taking a leap. So there might be something you're considering doing that you know is going to bring you pleasure, that you know you're just going to find joy in. There's just a certain fear. There's a certain fear of taking that leap. Did it feel a bit indulgent? Because it feels self-indulgent or something. Oh, are you considering whether you're worth it? Is that it? Ace of Cups. Yeah. Oh, am I capable of receiving it? Am I capable of receiving the joy and the pleasure that this could potentially bring? Am I capable of receiving it? Interesting, Cancer. Sometimes the unfamiliar can be scary, I guess. Maybe what we're ultimately talking about is receiving love. And we've got a cup here. I mean, that feels so loving. That energy feels so loving. I'm capable of receiving it. It doesn't feel like a worthiness issue. I feel like you think you're worthy of it, but you don't know if you're capable of it. So I suppose it's about, if you find yourself receiving that, which you know you're worth it. It's almost like, what do I do when I've got it? What do I do with it? I'm definitely worth this, but am I capable of sustaining this? That sort of thing. Hope that makes sense to you, my loves. Yes, I'll leave it there because I have to put boundaries around these little reads that I do. Yeah, check you later. See you next time. Bye.